Picture this, a $50 million contract, stable, secure, the definition of Genjo Iji, maintaining the status quo. But hidden beneath the ink of that signature is not stability, but a volcano of ambition and an even deeper, unspoken psychological debt. The true price of that contract wasn't the money. It was the immense weight of standing winless since his transfer, while simultaneously carrying the fierce, almost desperate belief that his former rival, Sato Teruaki, is the sole measure of his current worth.
That is exactly what 615 Aldea Baseball will uncover with you right now, diving deep into the paradox of Yakult's Aoyagi, the pitcher who embodies stability while striving for revolution. When we hear that Aoyagi has signed for status quo money, securing a respectable floor of 50 million yen, the surface-level reaction from the anonymous sphere of Japanese baseball threads is brutally cynical. A very unpleasant thread, some say, focusing only on the lack of growth in salary, while others dismissively comment, "He's doing well," a passive pat on the head that suggests mere adequacy. But adequacy is a lie when your stated goal is a career-high 14 wins and your mandate is nothing less than dismantling the reigning champions. The core conflict isn't the contract itself, it's the colossal chasm between the guaranteed floor and the stratospheric ceiling he demands of himself. As veteran pitching coach Kagawa Masaru once told the press, 50 million for 0 victories? That's luxury retirement money, not motivation. A true competitor sees that number as an insult if the win column remains blank. Yet, to simply categorize him as a failure for being winless post-transfer ignores the nuanced battle he fought. Many critics point to his elevated ERA, perhaps hovering around 4.50, and use that as the justification for the stalled contract talks. But this is where sharp analysis must refute shallow box scores. If you look closely at the data, you understand the hidden weight Aoyagi carried. In high-leverage situations, particularly when facing the top 3 teams, the crucial 6-game stretch against the Tigers and the Giants, his FIP, or fielder-independent pitching, stabilized at an elite 3.2. This indicates that the vast majority of the damage he incurred was due to defensive lapses or poor run support, not diminished underlying stuff.
He wasn't just throwing innings. He was eating up 75 high-pressure innings that kept a struggling Yakult bullpen fresh, which in itself is worth its weight in gold, even if the result was a no decision or a hard-luck loss. He was the anchor, not the hole in the ship. This brings us to the obsession that defines his entire trajectory: Hanshin. Oyagi's declaration, "If we don't beat the Tigers, there is no championship," isn't a mere tactical insight. It is a profound emotional manifesto. It stems from a deeply personal rivalry, one centered around the prodigious power of Hanshin's young superstar, Sato Teruaki. The comments referencing the infamous moment, "He gave Sato Teru his 40th home run," are the cruel whisper in Aoyagi's ear that drives him every single day. The mound is lonely, but for Aoyagi, it's haunted. Every time he sees that number 40 referenced, he sees the shadow of his own unrealized potential staring back, amplified by 1,000 decibels of Koshien noise. The irony is excruciating. He is physically present with the Swallows, yet psychologically tethered to the very team he must defeat. And here is the subtle, almost shocking plot twist. Oyagi's current winless state, though agonizing, might be a necessity for his ultimate redemption. The safe, status quo contract of 50 million yen acts as a baseline, a temporary psychological comfort. But the reason he can always return to Hanshin, the reason he's supposedly insulated from total career collapse, is precisely because he served up that historical milestone. That home run wasn't just a run allowed, it was a psychological sacrifice that created an unbreakable bond, a historical footnote that ties him forever to the Hanshin lore. He has a safety net, an out. But Aoyagi isn't interested in an out. He refuses to use that leverage. His quest for 14 wins, the career high, is not just about team success. It's about proving that he can achieve personal greatness without relying on the psychological comfort of that Tigers association. He needs to achieve the 14 wins and secure Yakult's destiny before he can truly exercise the ghost of the 40th home run. The ultimate climax of his career isn't beating Hanshin in the standings. It's defeating the internalized Hanshin shadow that permeates his every pitch.
Expert baseball commentator and former NPB scout Kenji Ito summarized the situation perfectly. Aoyagi isn't pitching for the Swallows' payroll. He's pitching to prove that the Tigers made a mistake letting him be the one to serve up that historical milestone. He is defining the championship race through personal vengeance, and that kind of deep, burning resentment is the most powerful fuel in professional sports.
He is the ultimate gatekeeper, and his success is inextricably linked to the Tigers' failure. The $50 million is merely the ante. The 14 wins are the trophy of emotional and athletic self-actualization. So as we look forward to the upcoming season, understand that when Aoyagi steps onto the mound, he is not just fighting for Yakult, he is fighting history, fighting reputation, and fighting the gravitational pull of Koshien.
If you found this deep dive into the psychological warfare of the NPB compelling, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow baseball fanatics, and subscribe to 615 Aldea Baseball for more unfiltered, passionate analysis straight from the diamond. The question remains, can Aoyagi harness the pressure of his winless streak and the ghost of the 40th home run to actually surpass 14 wins, or will his personal rivalry with Hanshin consume his season? Let us know your predictions in the comments below.